Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, members of the Economic Matters Committee. For the record, I'm Delegate Michelle Guyton. I represent District 42B in Baltimore County. And before I get started, I do feel like, because we're all friends here, I need to say a very happy birthday to the, I suppose, the regular delegate sitting in the corner, Delegate C.J. Wilson, who is sometimes chair, and our dear friend, Delegate Rogers, who's also a favorite of everyone's here. So happy birthday to both of you. Now, I sat in this meeting for a couple of hours earlier, and I cannot promise that I will be as joyful, as entertaining, and as witty as Delegate Vaughn Stewart, but I promise you that I will be so much faster. So, I'm here to ask your support today of House Bill 640. You've already heard a little bit about the Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project, and I know that you are all familiar with it because we have been inundating you with questions for most of the year about these projects. So this bill in particular is introduced in response to the concerns raised by that specific to conservation easements. Makes it a little bit different than what you've already heard today, right? The project that's proposing a new transmission line across Baltimore County, Carroll County, Frederick County, it may not yet be an issue in your district, but our concern is, and my concern is, that this might just be the tip of the iceberg, and it is something that we will be dealing with in Maryland going forward, and it would be really prudent of us to start putting some guardrails in place and some regulations in order to deal with it, particularly as it relates to conservation easements. I want to say that I learned almost everything I know, which is not that much, but I'm trying, from watching Delegate Charkoudian's videos on FERC, so thank you for that, and learning from these lovely people here. She's amazing. So if you have questions, ask Delegate Charkoudian. The proposed lines in this particular project, actually, I can wait. Oh, okay, nice. I'll stop. I promise it's going to be fast anyway. But the proposed lines in this particular project would cut through 245.9, so we can round up to 46, acres of conserved land. And this is land, as you all know, that the state has already determined to be at its best and highest purpose as conserved land. Right? Not as land for transmission. This action would be detrimental to our state's commitment to preserve 600,000 acres of agricultural and open space by 2040. That's called the Maryland the Beautiful Act of 2023, and to the residents in the affected areas, which is why I am here. So House Bill 640 simply, and this is a very easy bill, requires the Public Service Commission and the applicant for the transmission lines to minimize the impact on the properties that are in the proposed route subject to existing conservation easements. So I respectfully ask for a favorable report on House Bill 640 to help protect Marylanders' land and livelihood, as well as preserve our natural resources and ecosystems. Thank you very much. I'll turn it over to Ms. Frederick.
Okay. Thank you, Delegate Guyton. For the record, Joanne Frederick here to ask for a favorable report of House Bill 640. As Delegate Guyton said, 246 acres of conserved land will be directly impacted. And I think what's incredibly important is that within 500 feet of the right-of-way for this transmission line is another 1,801.7 acres of conserved land. And to think that the destruction will be limited to the right-of-way is foolish, and we must do everything we can to protect Maryland's investment, not only for the money spent, but to keep Maryland rural, to keep Maryland beautiful, to keep bringing people here to live, and to protect the Chesapeake Bay. Because when these lands are destroyed and the forests are destroyed, et cetera, then the Bay ultimately will suffer, and we will all suffer. And I urge a favorable report on House Bill 640.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Don Butchko with the Maryland Association of Counties. Me too. I refer you to our written testimony, and we urge a favorable report. Great bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks. Thank you, Chair Wilson and Vice Chair Crosby. I'm Michael Sonnenfeld, the chair of the Easement Committee of the Land Preservation Trust. Land Preservation Trust is a local land trust with over 380 easements on over 14,000 acres. We're also the administrator for the state of the Piney Run Rural Legacy Area. We support HB 640 to protect Maryland's investment in agricultural and open space land. Maryland has invested $1.3 billion to purchase conservation easements on privately owned land, and conservation easements allow the state to dedicate land to a public purpose without having to purchase the land or without having to maintain the properties. Preserved land maintains Maryland's largest sector, agriculture. It maintains the scenic views and rural character of our communities. It promotes clean air, clean water, captures carbon and limits greenhouse gases, and it promotes the health of natural ecosystems and people. HB 640 would require the PSC to evaluate alternative routes and minimize their impact on conserved land, and we strongly support HB 640 and hope you issue a favorable report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank the good delegate for bringing the bill. Now, I haven't had a chance to review all of the YouTube videos, but I do have a question. So do you think it's appropriate for us to sue the sun for not producing enough energy?
I'll get that answer back to you, Delegate Rogers, when I consult with some experts.
All right, so seeing no, there is other lawsuit questions. Delegate Adams.
Are you saying that this is our charcuterie YouTube, or is it a podcast?
All right, I am so sorry I brought
I
you
do
into
not know how
this.
much he paid to the witnesses today. But seeing no further questions,